Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second Zoom session on Path to Higher Education, which is organized by Chemsoc. Today, our guest speaker is someone who has successfully navigated the path from Sri Lanka to international academia in Australia. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Tharindu Madushan. Tharindu's academia journey began at Kurudwata Royal College, where he performed his O-levels and A-level examinations. His outstanding performance earned him to get selected to Science Faculty of University of Peradeniya, where he continued his academia excellence and became the batch top of Chemistry Special Batch of S17. Building this strong foundation led him to pursue his PhD in Organic Chemistry at University of Melbourne in Australia. Today, Tharindu will be sharing his first-hand experience and insights on a guide to higher studies in Australia. Let's give a warm virtual welcome to Mr. Tharindu Madushan to share his insights with us today. Tharindu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Buddhi, for that nice introduction. I hope that you can hear me right.
Yes, Tharindu, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you again, Buddhi, for that nice introduction. And I'm like privileged and somewhat nervous. So to present some of like my past experience with you all in order to like pursue PhD in Australia. So I will start like briefing about a little bit about myself, as Buddhi mentioned. Sorry, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Oh, okay. Hold a second. Let me share my screen again. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So sorry for that delay. And so I started my undergraduate at Faculty of Science in University of Peradeniya back in 2019, and I followed major. I just followed biology, geology, and chemistry as my first year subjects, as well as in the second year. And I got chance to like specialize in chemistry. And I just graduated back in the end of 2023. And some of you may know that I have worked as a demonstrator at the Science Faculty, Department of Chemistry, about like 1 year time period. And I also just worked as a demonstrator at the Faculty of Allied Health Science as a demonstrator about like a short time period before I come to Australia. So those are about like my background things before I applying for a PhD. And so especially like when I'm discussing about the PhD in Australia, so it is like somewhat different from when applying for the United States, because I think as far as I know, when you're applying for a country like Australia or any Europe country such as Germany or something, the process is somewhat different from the applying for the United States. Seems like most of them are like we are like just familiar with the application process of United States, but some of them have like a good idea about how to apply for Australia as well. But in my case as well, I also didn't have that much of good idea how to like apply for PhD in Australia, because personally I like the country like the Australia. So I also had some like a lot of questions in my mind when I'm back in third or fourth year. So I had to remind one person called Miss Pamali Somatilaka. She's the one who guided us in that time period when we are like applying for a PhD in Australia. So I had to remind her and thank her to giving that wonderful guidance in that time period. So I hope that in this short talk, some tips or some things will be very important for you when you guys are going to apply for a PhD in Australia. So that is how my journey is there. And so these are some of the reasons why I took Australia, but sometimes it may be different from your case. But these are kind of like my personal perspectives. These are not kind of like what you call it. These are not like the landmarks for Australia, but these are kind of like my perspective when I'm applying for Australia for a PhD, especially I'm just considered about the research opportunities over there and about the well-class higher education system. Maybe some the number of universities available in Australia is somewhat lower than I think compared to the United States. But most of the universities are like top ranked universities in Australia, as well as considering as a country the cultural diversity and everything that gives me as a good insightful when I'm thinking for a PhD. So, and also when you're thinking about after PhD life, it's a very good solution in Australia because we can apply for the post-study work, and as well as if you're just thinking about settling down after PhD, they have given some PR parties. I will discuss those things as well. So these are like my key points when I was like looking for a PhD. These are the main criteria that I have gone through as a person. So I think you also have some like personal reasons, personal things when you are like, because it's a PhD is a kind of like it is not, again, you are going to be a kind of a student, but it's a kind of a life-changing moment, and it's a dedication. So in order to make that dedication, the way we are going, so it's really matters. So how we are going to like deal with some people and everything, the culture, environment, everything matters when you are like staying for a long time period by just focusing on one thing. So in those things, I just considered about these topics in my personal perspective when I'm choosing Australia as one of my destinations. So yeah, so when straight away I will go to the like hot topic of the application process in Australia. I also told that the process is somewhat different from applying for US. So the difference is like rather than US, mainly I think many of you know that when you're applying for the United States University, so you have to directly apply for the grad school, and then you have to pursue a scholarship over there. But in the Australia, the process is somewhat different. First thing is like since you are like, just imagine you are just following your undergrad research or something in a kind of like field. It can be like organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, analytical, or something like that. So in that case, there's no such thing called that if you have done organic or something in your undergrad, then you must do definitely in the PhD or the same. There is nothing like that. What I mean is, if you have a kind of interest, so first of all, you must finding the supervisor beforehand, like applying for the scholarship in university. So I will give you some rough guidance how to find a supervisor in Australia. So especially I will tell you how to do that. So I will go to I will tell how to like do a search. Okay, no. So especially search as I mentioned, in Australia, like each and every university have their web pages, and the way they have arranged for the graduate research degrees are more similar. I will go a couple of university pages and show you how they have been arranged, and they are like very super easy and super like user friendly. So you can find each and every detail in there. So I will navigate you through to a few of the university websites. So especially I'm studying at University of Melbourne. So what you have to just search like graduate research at Uni Melbourne or something commonly like Australian National University or Queensland University, such as there's a huge list of universities in Australia as well. So you can go to the graduate research something and search. So I will go to my university site, especially the graduate research degrees. So in here, when considering about the graduate research, so you can scroll down and you can find out here. So you can find out the types of graduate research degrees they are offering. Okay, so especially they are offering Doctor of Philosophy, the PhD, and the Master of Philosophy, MPhil, and the Master by Research. Okay, this is not the Master by Postdoc, this is Master by Research. So since our talk is mainly focused on PhD, I will go to the this one, the Doctor of Philosophy. So you can go to the Doctor of Philosophy. So in there, you can see that there's a popping up this Doctor of Philosophy of Science. So by clicking that, you can go to this one, and just make sure that you're going to change this one, because these criteria for the domestic student. Please change this criteria for international students. Okay. So that is the first thing you have to do when you're going for a university website. Just make sure that you are just choosing the options for the international student. Okay, so this is the overview of a PhD in Australia typically. So it will take around 3 to 4 years typically, and I will explain about each and every point briefly. So what we can do here, you can see that in this ribbon there is the option called how to apply. So especially in each and every university site, this is a similar way that they are appearing. So the how to apply, there is a display button called how to apply. You can choose that one, and in here you can see clearly what are the steps that you must follow before applying for a PhD. So I will go through these ones because these are the kind of mystery requirements that they are expecting from us than in other countries. So we have to check beforehand of writing for a supervisor or getting for a supervisor. We have to go through these ones whether we are eligible for this one. Sometimes you are maybe now you're in the second year or third year, some in the fourth year as well. So just make sure that what are the requirements they are looking for if you are going to do a PhD in Australia. So the requirements that what they are expecting here somewhat different from the United States sometimes. Most of the times, I think sometimes it's totally different. So first of all, before moving to any part, just go to this check your eligibility. So we'll go to that, and I will explain what are the entry requirements that you must satisfy before writing for a supervisor. So here they clearly mention that you must have a 4-year bachelor's degree. So if you're having a 3-year bachelor's degree, don't discourage that. You can still apply, but you must have a master's degree. Okay, and that master's degree also must cover at least 25% of the research. That means I think when you're taking the component of the master's degree, just check whether that your master's degree is going to cover at least 25% by research component, and the rest of the 75% will be the coursework. So those are the two options that will be available. First option is you must have a 4-year degree, that a 4-year bachelor's degree. And in here, they haven't mentioned about the first class or the second class offer. Nothing they have mentioned here. So that is kind of controversy that I also had in my mind, whether we need a first class degree for the application process in Australia. And I will show that one as well. These are the requirements that University of Melbourne is expecting from you. Similarly, I will go to the Australian National University site as well. Similar outline of there. Look, they also have this minimum admission requirements. So I will show you what they have mentioned here. So you can see that for admission for a Doctor of Philosophy degree, they are requiring an Australian bachelor's degree with at least second class honors or upper first class honors. So in this case, they are expecting you to have a degree with second class upper or above. So that is a kind of requirement that most of the Australian universities are looking for. But the true story, I will tell the true story. So actually, if you have a first class degree, that is, you will be a strong, you will have a very strong chance to get admission into one of the universities than having I don't know, yeah, but I think it's must. If you have a first class degree, I think it will be a great advantage for you. Plus, if you don't have a first class degree, but we'll see that you got like a second class upper or second class or something like that. But if you still you have a look, they are saying that the combination of qualification, the research publication, and professional experience related to the field. So if you have done some volunteer work, and if you have worked in a lab for like a particular like particular time period, you have that presence of mind about how to do some research and how to publish papers. If you have some published papers with you, so I think you are having another good chance for applying for a PhD in Australia. So that first class is kind of a myth, I think, as I guess. Even though you are not having a first class degree, but you are having a kind of very strong research background with publications, and also like with a good sense of mind, if you have done some volunteer work and everything in the lab, I think that will be a very promising mark in order to applying for a PhD in Australia. So those are the criteria you must fulfill if you want to pursue a PhD degree in Australia. Plus, if you don't have any of these, you can do a master's in Sri Lanka. Then after, by completing the master's degree, I think in the master's degree also you must have good credentials over there. So that's what they are mentioned. So after completing the master's degree, also you can apply for a direct PhD in Australia. So those are the main eligible criteria that you must fulfill before like applying for the PhD here. So yeah, that's about the criteria. And now if you have those criteria, it's time to find the supervisor. Okay, so I will tell you how to find supervisors from a university page, especially in here. You can see that here also there is a pop-up in the screen that find a prospective supervisor. So if you are doing bioscience or anything, any field, if you are like related field, you can choose, because since I'm familiar with chemistry, I mean, go to the School of Chemistry. So they have like in here, they have clearly mentioned what are the areas that they are working on, especially in the School of Chemistry, University of Melbourne. They are working under four main criteria, especially on the functional materials, on the material chemistry, and the biological chemistry and chemical biology, where I am working here, and the sustainability and the environment, and the fundamental chemistry research. So first of all, try to identify where you're passionate about, whether you're passionate about material chemistry or something related to biological or sustainability or some kind of like fundamental thing. Either way, so you can choose one of these, and you can see up here, you can see the groups that working on those particular areas. Okay, so you can just play with these things and just find out who the like most matching one for me in order to make it as a supervisor. Okay, so I am working with Professor Spencer Williams, so I will go to his group. So go to each and every group. So in their group, you can find out they are like mentioning what are the current research area they are working on. Okay, so you can have a very brief idea about what are the research areas that they are working on. So that is really important. Before writing for the supervisor, even if your interest and the supervisor work, I mean, like related works are not matching, the chance of being getting accepted is really low, because if you are not passionate about what is the supervisor is doing, the chance of getting acceptance will be really low. So before like before applying or before writing for a supervisor, just make sure that you are very much interested in that field, and you're just familiar, or just you like to work on that field. So that is how you can find a supervisor. And I will go to another one's page. So likewise, so here you can see that the areas that they are working on. This Professor Brendan is working on inorganic chemistry, and from here you can find out how to like connect with the Professor Brendan. If you want to connect with him, you can go to the study with me, and you can see that in each and every supervisor, if they are available for like the supervision, they are like they are having this kind of message that I'm available to supervise research project. Okay, that means he's currently active with the research. So you can have a kind of idea. He's doing some work in these days. Sometimes they are just mentioning that they are not hiring students or like that way. If we want students, they also like mention in their web page. So this is the best way to find a supervisor by going through the web page of a particular university. So, and you can also have a look on what are the projects that they are working on. If they are active, they are mentioning in there. So that means they have still current projects going on. That means sometimes they can perceive PhD students over there. So those are the things you have to watch, like before writing for a supervisor randomly. Okay, don't write for the supervisor randomly. Just make sure that you're going to arrange and like in a kind of very systematic way to try to go each and every profile where you are interested in that field. So try to find whether these projects are available or whether already they have completed or whether these supervisor have some funding with him to support you in the PhD study. So this is the best way you can do. And another thing, the second thing, before writing to the supervisor, you can have a supervision inquiry. So from here, you can do a supervision inquiry. I think in the most of the universities, when you are going for his personal web page, you can find this icon, the supervision inquiry. So from here, you can submit a form that you are like willing to work with him, and just mentioning yourself and attaching your CV with this one, you can have a request for supervision. Okay, that is another thing you can do by going through his personal web page. I think that is the best way in order to approach a supervisor. So first of all, go to the particular school. If you are looking for chemistry, go to the School of Chemistry. Under that, you can find out the particular research areas that they are working on. Under that, each and every category, they have several research groups. From that research groups, you can find out whether they are hiring new PhD students or not. If they have currently working on projects, so that means they are hiring new students. If they have currently active projects, that means the possibility of hiring will be high. It means they have funding with them as well. So with that, you can get their contact information from here. So especially you can get the contact information, the email especially, and then you can start the writing for a supervisor. So that is the way how you can find a supervisor by just going through the web pages. And I know that you guys are like really super fast and super familiar with these things, so you can just go through like each and every web page of university by selecting like based on your interest. So that is the first thing you have to do. So that means finding a supervisor. Finding a supervisor means just pick one. Okay, now you know whether you are eligible or not for applying. Now you know how to find a supervisor, just going through the web page. And then after, you must write a cover letter for the supervisor. So this is the most important thing. The cover letter and the SOP are two different things, because SOP means a statement of purpose. So in that statement of purpose, you are going to explain every bit of like things. That means why you were passionate about such a field and what you are going to do after, blah, 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 many things. Sometimes maybe 2-3 pages, but the cover letter is something different. Cover letter is something that highlights what you achieved so far. Okay, so in the cover letter, don't include like too many things. Cover letter means kind of email that you're going to like address your potential supervisor that you have chosen from one of your universities. So just mention in the cover letter background about yourself. That means who are you and what are the qualifications that you have. Like one paragraph is enough for that. And the second paragraph, you can just include what is your like undergraduate research about. What are the instruments that you have been used there? What are the like special novelty, if you have used some novelty there? What are those things? Just mention all there. And finally, as I mentioned, you have to go through your prospective supervisor's research work. Why you got interested on this project. So mention another paragraph. So maybe about like 3 to 4 paragraphs in a one page. That is totally enough for a cover letter, as from my experience and what I have done also similar thing. So I think it's success. So it's going to be success, because SOP is a kind of different thing when compared with the cover letter. So after writing the cover letter, for that you must include, when you're writing for a supervisor, just include the academic transcript and the CV. And the next important thing is the English language requirement. I haven't went through that slide, but in Australia as well, they are looking for the English language requirement. But especially at the Uni Melbourne, sometimes they are going to waive off the English language requirement as well. But in that case, you have to go through their web page. As I mentioned, the eligibility requirement under that, they have mentioned about the English language requirement, whether how they're going to consider. Sometimes, in my case, I got a waiver from the University of Melbourne for the English language requirement. So sometimes case by case, it can be different. And but when you're applying for Australia, you can do IELTS, or sometimes, not sometimes, you can do the PTE as well. So Pearson test of English. So you can do the PT as well. I think when comparing the IELTS and PT, I think PT is somewhat easier than IELTS as far as I heard. I don't know. I haven't done PT. I have done IELTS, but as far as I know, I think PT is somewhat easier than, as some people say, it's somewhat easier than the IELTS. So those are the things you must include. But sometimes if you haven't done the IELTS or like any English test, it's that okay to write for the supervisor without that mark. That's fine. He will reply for you, even though without the English language requirement. If you have a strong background in research and everything, and you have like good qualification, so probably he will reply. And it takes time, so that is like it takes some time. Sometimes some supervisors replying within hours. Sometimes I don't know, but sometimes they will take about 1-2 months. So I don't know. Sometimes they are like taking months. So it's not in our control. So you better try to approach for like several supervisors once like they're getting some answers. But please avoid this one. Don't write like too many supervisors from the same school, because probably they're going to like talk with each other. So I think it will be like kind of a bad mark for yourself as well. So please wait for a reply from, if you have applied for one person in school of, just imagine if I want to apply for one supervisor in School of Chemistry, University of Melbourne. Again, don't try to apply for like 2-3 guys at the same time. Just wait until one reply comes. So in that time period, you can try to get another supervisor from another university. So you can, I mean, like it depends on you. So you have to like just break down things and just move on, rather than like applying for a bunch in the same School of Chemistry. I think it's not nice, right? And you have to wait until they reply. So probably after reply, they will call a Zoom meeting with you. And I mean, like in order to make sure that you are like well set for their research group. If they like, probably he will giving you a supervisor endorsement, and he will ask you to make a research proposal. Probably he will ask to make a research proposal for you. That means, because now you know what is the research that you're going to do if you're going to scholarship. So in that case, they will give the guidance, very small research proposal, the plus supervisor endorsement he will give it for you. So then after everything set now you got a supervisor. Now you're happy. Now you have to apply for the university in order to make sure that you're going to have a scholarship over there. So the next important thing is when considering about the scholarships. So I will again go to here. We can see that the deadline. So deadlines is really important, but as not as in the United States, every university in Australia does not have the same deadline. So especially for the Uni Melbourne, you can see that the round 1 is going to close on October 1st this year, and the round 2 is going to close on February 1st, 2026. So that means these are the 2 rounds that they are like looking for. And look how much time taken to get an answer from them. It will take about like 3 or 4 months to get to get an answer from them. So applicant outcome notified. If you applied for the October 1st intake, they're going to notify by late December. And if you're going to apply for February 1st intake, they may be early May. But this is totally different from the Australian National University, and sometimes it might be different from other universities as well. So you have to go through their deadlines before make sure that you can approach for a supervisor, and because it is not in our control. I don't know when they are going to reply for us. So if you apply, if you write for a supervisor just in June or something, sometimes he can reply in July or maybe in August. So then you will have enough time. But sometimes you will, when you are write for a supervisor in August or something, sometimes he will reply in October or something. So then you cannot apply for the October intake, but you can apply for the February intake. So likewise, it depends. So but you must have a very good idea about when it is going to crossing the application. So then it will be somewhat easy. Then so it will be really easy because now you have all the things. Supervisor will do that supervisor endorsement. Plus, you must have the research proposal. He will guide you to make that. It's not that much harder. And CV and academic transcripts. And sometimes you have to go through English language requirements as well, as I mentioned. So you must prepare for that. Including those things, and here also you need some referees. That means you need recommendation. The number can be changed. In the Uni Melbourne, they require about two, I think, as I can remember. They need two recommendation, but in the Australian National University, they require about three referees. So it can be different, two or three sometimes. Yeah, maximum three. So you need three recommendations, and those are the things you need for the application process. So if you have all those things together, you can submit your application, and yeah, we can wait for the outcome. So that is like yeah, I got a chat here. Okay, yeah, nice. Thank you, Sahan. And okay, nice. That is the way that you can do the application process. So now you know how to find the eligible criteria. Now you know how to find a supervisor. I just went through like a flash. I know, sorry for that, with the amount of time. And now you know how to go to the what we call this university site and further accessing through the application process. So up to now, do you have any questions, or did you get anything about what I explained? I just went through like really flash. So do you have any questions up to now? If you have any questions, please put in the chat box, or just unmute yourself and just ask. You can disturb me at any time. Okay, nice, cool. Now, if you got your recalled research scholarship. So in this scholarship, it is like the scholarship is sometimes going to be different from university to university. Especially the scholarship is going to include a stipend and the tuition fee waiver, and also sometimes it's going to include the health cover. Okay, some universities may some universities may going to cover, I mean, like I just mentioned three criteria: the tuition fee, stipend, and the health cover. Sometimes some universities may cover two of them. Sometimes some universities may cover all of three. That means they're going to cover the all health cover, stipend, and the tuition fee. Probably in most universities, they are going to cover the tuition fee and the stipend. Definitely, they are going to cover. Sometimes some universities not going to cover the health insurance. So that is a must in Australia. And especially in the University of Melbourne, they are going to cover your transportation cost as well. So it's like they're going to give you like a very good amount for you in order to make sure that you're going to book your plane ticket or something. They're going to cover that one as well as your visa fees. So it's like it's I think it's in the University of Melbourne. I don't know about other universities whether they're going to cover that transportation cost as well. So it's like a very good advantage for you. So nothing to worry about if you got the scholarship. I think just to come here and just start study. So yeah, and that is for the scholarship. And I got some question, I think, in the chat box. Let me check. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. I will answer this question at the end of the session. Sorry. Yeah. And so if you got the scholarship, so then it's the visa process. So in the visa process, I know that you may heard that Australian visa it takes some time. So if you're going to start your PhD, it's now after getting your scholarship, they will give some about like 6 months time to commence your studies here. So it's after that it's your turn to just to talk with the supervisor and to just to choose a suitable date for you. So it is like now you're going to be the boss now if you're going to have scholarship there. So you can decide when you're going to start, when you're going to like come to Australia. So everything you can decide now. So not if this is not as in the United States, you can decide now. So you can just talk with the supervisor. We are going to like start on this day. Yeah, he's happy, you happy. So just you can just pick that. So after that, after fixing that date, you can go to the visa process. So in here, as you also know that sometimes the Australian visa process takes too much long time. In my case also, I got about like 1 month time for like in order to process my visa. But especially don't worry about the financial background because you are under full scholarship. That means you're going to cover your living cost here and also your tuition fees. So there's nothing to show with regarding that. Sometimes they maybe ask in order like as financial evidence the only for the return airfare ticket. That is the only thing that they're asking about, like small amount. So nothing to worry about, show money or anything, nothing to show for you because everything is applied by the university or sometimes by the government. So nothing to worry about. And the requirements are like the basic things such as your birth certificate, academic transcripts, and if you have working in there, that's a good advantage. So those service letters and everything, salary slips, everything you must include, and you have some kind of like set of documents. So for this process, it also super easy. You can get an agent because in here, if you're getting for a PhD, there are like agents that is registered in your university, especially in most of the universities, there are agents. So they are going to process your visa without getting any fee. So it is super easy now. So you can just call for one of the agents and just prepare a document, just lodge your visa. It will take time. Sometimes it takes 1 month or 1.5 months. Sometimes it will take 3 weeks. Sometimes it depends. It depends. So we cannot control that timeline. So yeah, it's now super cool. So we can do the visa process very easily. Yeah, that's all about like now you got the visa as well. Okay. Okay. So excellent. Yeah. Okay. So now, because I personally have to say, because I can't lie for you, because I don't have that much kind of good idea about the what are the opportunities that are available after PhD, because I'm also like current PhD student and I just started like 6 months back. So, but I had a kind of strong mind. What are the like things that you can do after your PhD in Australia? The most important thing is when you have completed your PhD in here, probably they are going to give you a work visa, what we call the temporary graduate visa. It is coming under 485 or something. It is valid for about like 3 years. So if you are done a PhD in here, definitely you are going to get a work visa here for about 3 years. And that time you can find a job here. So the job market is also not that much bad, but it's really hard to find job in now. I mean, like it's really hard to find job in whatever where you in the world. So we have a kind of like very high competition for jobs in each and every field. So you must have to build your soft skill and everything. So I think there are career opportunities because when you're considering about the graduate employability of most of the universities, they are like really high. They are very top rank when you're comparing the world as well. So it will be not easy, but you can find as far as I know and with the personal experience that I'm getting these days, I think you can. But what I can tell is like it's very important. You can get it this 3 year work visa here. So it's really important and you can have very good networking of professionals because uh, when you're like still working on a PhD. Yeah, so that's about like the what you can do after PhD, and that is about that the visa categories and things. I think the living, as I mentioned, because you must enjoy your life. So the PhD is not only the thing you are going to do within that 3 or 4 years. You must enjoy. I would say that Australia is kind of one of high expensive cities in the world as far as I know, especially Sydney, Melbourne. They are like very expensive cities when comparing the other cities in the world. But especially the living, I mean, like the stipend that they are giving is more than enough to survive here. Because I was to just survive another about like 6 months time. So no, nothing that much. But sometimes expensive, very expensive. Some things are very expensive, but you can just manage yourself. But the stipend is totally enough. And the next thing is the under this visa category, not like in other countries, you can do part-time work. You can do a part-time work. That means you can, because in the Australian PhD, there's nothing to. I mean, like, you don't need to do teaching assistantship. But in the United States, when you are going for a PhD there, you must do a teaching assistantship here there. But in here, it is not a must. So if you can work as a teaching assistant or like a lab demonstrator, I'm working now these days. They are going to pay you again with a stipend plus the demonstrator salary. So they are paying high in here. So it's very good money for for a lab demonstrator or a teaching assistant. So not in like Sri Lanka, but they're giving like very good money. I'm just kidding. So I think it will be more than enough for you. I think it will be like life will be like more enjoyable after that. So yeah, and the lifestyle and the culture is like very multicultural country, especially Melbourne. There are like people from many cultures and many diverse lifestyles. So it's like really happening. Yeah, it's really good when you're considering about the lifestyle here. And yeah, that's all about. And another thing, just this is about like a personal experience. Just if you're just planning to come after your marriage or something with your partner or something like that, in here, if you're coming with your partner under this visa category, the partner getting the full time work, right? As I think yours, I mean, the PhD holder also getting the full time work, right? So your partner can work in here if you're like eligible for like if you have that required qualification, the partner or yeah, if he or she have that requirement, she can work full time in Australia. So that is a very good advantage in kind of like when considering about the financial scale as well. So yeah, so that is my research group, and my research supervisor is Professor Spencer J. Williams. So it's a kind of like large research group. We have about like 8 PhDs and 5 postdocs and 2 master students. So I'm very thankful for my supervisor as well, and also I have to like I do big thank for my supervisors back in Peradeniya, Dr. Susanthi Jaisingh and Professor Anuru Vikramasinghe. Like they are not there, and all the other academic staff as well. They have helped me a lot to come far this way. So, and I'm really helpful, and I'm grateful. Sorry, I'm really grateful for. Thank you to them and about like my colleagues as well. So thank you very much. And yeah, that's all about what I have to mention about up because I also have a very short journey and very small amount of experiences. I hope that I have shared everything with you. So, and thank you very much. Thanks so guys for inviting me here. And now it's your turn. If you have any questions or something to clarify from me, just ask, just chat. I think it's better to ask by unmute yourself because it's kind of like a discussion. So yeah. Thank you very much, guys. I got some questions in the chat box. Okay, how to find funded projects? One of my got full funded PhD after applying for a without publication. Yeah, I think in my case also personally, I didn't had any publications, but if you're having a kind of very strong academic background, I think with a good GPA or something, and still you're having the chance to get a scholarship over there. I think yeah, no need to have like strong publications, but if you're having a strong background with the GPA or something, yeah, GPA, and I think there's like a possibility to, I mean, like there's a higher possibility to get a PhD there. I think I have answered that question. To apply it, is the age matters? I don't think so, but I think there's a when after PhD, if you're going to apply for a PR pathway or something, the age limit has been decreased by the Australian government to 35. For a PhD, I don't think that age will be met. Okay, those are the 2 questions I got from the chat box.
Hello,
I hope
yeah.
that
I
yeah,
have a small question.
yeah.
First, I would like to say the session was very good. It was like up to point. You explained everything very clearly. So this will be sort of a general question. So we need to write a cover letter and SOP for your research supervisor, right? So when you are
Okay, yeah,
looking
cover
for a
it. Yeah,
supervisor. So we need to include the current research we are involved in our cover letter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say like I'm doing let's say I'm doing organic chemistry, but in my undergraduate research, but
Okay.
I'm interested to follow like something related to organic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like something else from my undergraduate research.
Undergraduate.
Yeah. So will it affect that? Like my expectation is to go somewhere else, but will it affect the current research? Will it affect that thing?
And because from my personal experience, because I also met some of you, like what you have mentioned, as I mentioned earlier as well, I think it's not going to affect for you, because it's only affect your passion. Because if you're just passionate about what your supervisor is doing, I think it's more than enough. That means you have a kind of like very interest on that. I think that's more than enough, because in the undergrad it's like totally different. Sometimes you are getting a project due to some available resources as well in the faculty, so it will be sometimes different. But if you are passionate about something else, I think it's the undergraduate degree. I mean, let's sorry, undergraduate research will be not that will be a huge part if you are just passionate about that his or her work. Yeah, I think it is not going to affect that much. Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, apply in Australia is each matter I answered. How to find those funded? I think the Shashi. Yeah. So I think I showed that web page. You can go to the university web page and just graduate research web page. From there, you can go to the finding prospective supervisor category. Then you can go to the School of Chemistry. From there, when you are going for each and individual supervisor, under their like web page, they have mentioned whether they have currently going on projects. They have like just mentioned, as I just short as, that they are active. So the active means they are like current, like ongoing projects. Sometimes they may require new PhD students. From that, you can get an idea in order to write for a supervisor. I think that is the best way that we can do. And another thing I have to mention, just make sure that you are just really active in Twitter, using not using the Facebook or Instagram to I mean, like they pop up their new things. So they are using the LinkedIn or the Twitter. So make sure that you are very active in the LinkedIn and the Twitter. You can find out many opportunities in Australia as well as in other countries. So I think it's better to active if you have done your undergraduate now. I think it's better to active on LinkedIn and the Twitter. Like they will be like good sources. Okay. And apply for a PhD, did you pending result of fully transcript after graduation and roughly how many months it take for the whole application process to be completed? I think for the Australia, you can apply with your pending results as well, but you must submit the pending results within some time period if they're going to offer you a scholarship. So the application process, for my personal experience, I applied for Uni Melbourne around 2024 August or something, August as I can remember. So I got a funded scholarship in December. So it takes about 4 months for me. Sometimes it takes 3 months, 4 months, but in some universities it will be super fast. Especially, I think in the as I can remember, the Australian nationality something, it's coming within 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. It depends on the university. Yeah. Apply based on applied chemistry. Uh, Applied chemistry. I think because if you haven't covered any research part there, because I can't actually say with the applied chemistry degree with honors, I don't have a good idea about that one to answer. I think because please go through the eligibility criteria, and if you are unsure that, you can connect the graduate research coordinator as well, and you can ask from them as well, because they are looking for a 25%. That means kind of 1 year time period of research background from your undergrad. So I think it's better to like check with them, because I can't do a exact answer for that. Sorry. Yeah, extremely sorry. That
So if
All
there's any questions, now it's the time for you to ask. So as we have to wind up the session within like 5 or 6 minutes.
Tharindu, you have another question?
yeah,
So we talked about ANU and University of Melbourne, right?
yeah, because
So
okay.
yeah, so are there any universities other than that, like the people I
Yeah, there are so many because I because I just mentioned those two universities because I just like closely work on when I'm applying. I just closely work on those two universities. That's why I just mentioned. There are like University of Sydney, University of Adelaide. There are so many University of Queensland, Queensland Technology, and there is universities in Western Australia and Perth, and there are so many, and Latrobe University, Swinburne, RMIT, Monash, so many universities you can find. Just do a search. I think but the like the application procedure is somewhat not somewhat. I think it's similar. First of all, you have to find a supervisor, and then you have to proceed. But the deadlines may be different from university to university, and the processing time is also sometimes different. Yeah, there are so many universities, especially in Melbourne. You can find the University of Melbourne, Monash, Swinburne, Latrobe, like that. There are so many.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, apply page 33 and apply for PR. For the PR pathway, as I mentioned, I think the Australian government has reduced the age limit for about 35, as far as I know. So I think after completing your PhD, if you are going to apply by 33, I don't know about that. I think that they have cut the limit to the 35 for the application of PR, as far as I know. Just make sure that you are like just ask from the agent if you are getting a scholarship, and just ask from your agent whether you can still apply for the PR, because that is the only thing I know. They have cut the age limit to the 35, but I think still you can apply by in a different way. Yeah, I think you can apply, but I don't know by as after finishing your PhD, directly apply for a PR with that age. I don't know. You better like to talk with the kind of like visa consultation agent or something. They are the ones who like specialize about these PR pathways. But you can still apply. Yeah, I think you can still apply as far as I know. But they have limit the age under these ones for the 35. I think I have answered that question as well. How much GPA should I have to apply for a school in physics PhD? Will it be enough to have only a first class, or does the GPA matter? It's depend on the case. I think it's depend on the case because you must. I mean, like you must. If you're having a first class, I think that will be enough. It is not going to affect that much on the G. If you're having a higher GPA, that is like that's beautiful. That's good, and that will be like very easy to get a PhD scholarship there. So I think having a first class will be a grateful thing. Yeah, if you're having a higher GPA, it will be like super easy for you to grab a scholar. So having a first class, I think yeah, it will be like really easy for the process, because they not mention about a kind of specific GPA, just mention about the second class upper or the first class honors. They're not mentioning about specific GPA.
Is there any more questions? If you have questions, now is the time. So as we have like around like 2 or 3 minutes more to end up this session. So if there's no more questions, let's now wind up this session. So thank you, Tharindu, for your insightful presentation on higher studies in Australia. Your first-hand experiences and advices will be valuable for all of us when considering the educational pathways. Next, I would like to thank and extend my heartfelt gratitude towards everyone who joined the session of Path to Higher Education. Your active participation, questions, as well as the engagement made this session a meaningful session. Finally, I would like to thank the members of the Chemsoc for organizing another wonderful session on this topic. We look forward for seeing you all in our upcoming sessions as we continue exploring different pathways to higher education. Thank you once again to all to your time and participation. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thank you, Majan.
Recording stopped.